Alrighty, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Oregon Rocks. We are doing our rockhounding recap video right now, or rockhounding Round Up, as we like to call it. And we are going to go over our most recent finds that we had gathered in our last rockhounding trip this last Saturday, and we're going to share that with you. Munchkin right now is getting all of our small material, all of our small agates, carnelians, and chalcedonies together. You might need two hands for that, bud. And then we're gonna get this thing going. So, without further ado, let's see what you got there, bud.
I just have two more to fill.
Alrighty. You're gonna need two hands to display that.
Yep.
Alrighty, so these here, open up a little bit, there you go. These here are all of the smaller material that we found. As you can tell, we have a lot of chalcedony here. We have some carnelians, some smaller host rock material. And yeah, open up your hand a little bit more, bud. That's okay. Just make your hand flat a little bit. There you go, so that we can see all of them. There we go. Awesome. So we see some host rock material like this one here, which is kind of interesting. Pretty cool looking one.
Let's sit those down.
Alrighty.
Next.
Some beautiful little specimens here.
Next up, we might just do a couple at a time. Voila. As you can see, this is white host.
Okay, open up your hand a little bit, bud. Alright, so with these ones, we're going to kind of go through real quick, one by one. You can see the chalcedony in here. This is really, really cool. This is a very clear one. Munchkin. Just hold it in your hand for a second, okay? We have a beautiful little carnelian right here. It's a nice yellowish tint to it. Alrighty, next one, bud. Okay, this one has some beautiful bandings in it. You can see the bands right there. And it wraps all the way around. Yep. And this one will tumble up pretty nicely as well, too. So, we're excited about this gem. Let's see the other guy, bud. Okay, and this one you can see maybe some quartz in the middle there. Actually, this has some banding. It looks like in it too. Not as thick as the other one that we just saw, but a nice carnelian regardless. Alrighty, this next batch has a couple that still have the host rock matrix connected to them. So as you can see here, we have chalcedony in there that goes throughout it. And then we have the host rock still attached to it. This is another beautiful, beautiful specimen piece. Once we tumble this guy up, and maybe it'll get rid of some of this and reveal some of that real pretty color underneath.
Next up, I have Botryoidal.
Alrighty, you want to talk a little bit about these guys, bud?
But first off, I think I kind of want to see what this one looks like. Wow, look at that blue.
Yeah, so that's one thing I did notice about that one, is that one's got a bit of a blue tone to it, which is kind of cool. It might just be some of that host rock that it's still connected to. Alright, you want to show these guys off though, bud?
Next up, we have both two of chalcedony and carnelian.
Is that carnelian banded?
Nope, it was quiet for a second.
Let's see. It does not look like it.
And there's not even bands on this band.
Nope. But these are all beautiful specimens in their own unique character. Alrighty. Get those added. Okay, next. A lot more host rock. So, one thing we've been finding a lot more of, probably because we've scoured the area pretty thoroughly is we found more that have host rock material still connected to them. So you can see this one has a bit of a blue hue to it as well. A really nice carnelian piece. Some grain rock looks like still attached to it. Once this guy tumbles up, that should be real nice as well too.
You know what this kind of reminds me of?
What?
A skull.
Let's show that one off.
Or have been on so many host rocks that's like there's none that are not on host rocks anymore.
Yeah? So this one was a really pretty one because you can see just the banded agate lines throughout it. I think when this one gets tumbled up, this should also look fairly beautiful as well too, and reveal a lot of that husk layer once you get through it, what it truly looks like underneath. So we're excited for that.
The coolest one, I bet you have 3, is this. Look, you see all those stripes? It's like a tiger.
That is pretty cool, isn't it? Alrighty. And then the others.
This is one of the coolest parts of this one. Because you can see that host rock of it. We have been finding a lot of that. I remember seeing the coolest one that had a few bumps, but I don't think it would be Botryoidal. Because if it was, it would be Botryoidal host rock.
Oh, that would be, huh?
Yeah.
So we're excited to see what a tumble of these would show. If we get enough of these, we could end up doing an entire batch of tumbling that's just host rock material still attached, and see if we can't get rid of that and get down to the real glowies.
And after this little batch, we're gonna meet some of the cooler ones after this batch.
Alright, so Papa really likes some of these ones as well too.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite out of all those 4. Because look.
We'll get to that one, but okay. Alright, so this one is a nice little carnelian. You can see it's got some lines within the middle there. Some organic material maybe that's still connected when it was being formed. A real beautiful specimen. No banding in this one, but I think once tumbled, as we have said with the other ones, it should look pretty beautiful as well too. So we're excited for that one. Alrighty. Okay. Alrighty, so this one is a banded one. You can see the agate, the banded agate lines that are throughout it. Is also a pretty unique find. I liked the character in this one. It's pretty cool. You can see it's got some minor vugs in there, and it's got banding that wraps almost all the way around.
But what's pretty impressive is look, the host rock kind of brights up too.
It does, doesn't it?
Which is a pretty amazing part. I believe this would be some quartz at the top, maybe.
It might be, but yeah.
Because I can see some of the sugar from inside.
Yeah. Alrighty.
Oh, this thing's making me need straw.
We're almost done, but okay. And this one here, we have another Chalcedony with a little bit of hint of yellow in it. Another beautiful specimen piece. And this guy here, you can see it still has a little bit of that top layer of the agate still attached onto it. Some more beautiful Chalcedonies.
Next up, the amazing ones that I was just talking about before those ones. Voila! But guess what? The coolest one is this.
Okay,
Look
so
that.
a munchkin found this one.
Botryoidal Formation.
And if you guys can see, this has some botryoidal formations on the inside. So,
and if it was facing
from the outside,
any other way,
you would
I
not
wouldn't be able to see.
really know that this would be on the inside. And if you look on the inside there, that vug shows some botryoidal formations on the inside, and it really is a beautiful specimen.
But you know what kind of shows me? That usually, probably sometimes, that the glowing part is with there, but not this one. It's inside.
That's true.
And I believe that was leaning like this. Like, let's pretend that this is a normal rock. It was just leaning like this. And let's pretend this hand is me. And I'm going to be like this. No way.
And then you found it. It's pretty amazing.
But if it was like this, or this, when we would be coming back, I would probably not see it because it would be facing that way.
But because it was face up,
Like this?
so that's a beautiful, beautiful glowy that is just hiding on the inside of this regular rock. Again, I just can't stress to you guys enough just how beautiful that is. It's quite the specimen. I'm not really sure if you could even get this part out or not, like the surrounding parts, or if we would even want to, but this specimen here is something I'm definitely proud of. Alrighty, bud, let's move on to the next.
Voila.
Alrighty, so here we have some more host rocks. I still have the original matrix attached to it. You can see that the Chalcedony goes throughout all of these. So this guy here, you can see some Chalcedony in there. This one kind of reminds me a little bit of this one here. But it does not have any vugs in it or botryoidal formations. That part there kind of looks like it almost might be some, but you can see throughout it, it does have. Oh, actually. It does have a vug there, but a little tiny one. I just noticed that. I'm not sure if that has any crystallization in it, but that's kind of cool.
The vug white, but not the inside right.
Yeah.
Or the botryoidal.
Alrighty, now this one looks to have some quartz crystal in it as well too, on top of the Chalcedony. Another beautiful find. And this guy here, you would almost pass this up if it wasn't for this part here and that part here that show that this is made of Chalcedony. And actually, after seeing this, bud, do you remember that circular one that we found that kind of had little bumps like this?
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
That's botryoidal.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. That means we have 4 botryoidal. And now I found 3 botryoidals.
Yeah, 3 botryoidal formation. That is very cool, bud.
Hooray
So,
for no.
that is pretty awesome. Alrighty. Let's get moving to the big guys now, one at a time, bud. Let's start off with the bigger carnelian. Oh, yeah, no, let's start off with that one.
Yeah.
Okay, so this one is still...
jasper.
So, this is an agatized jasper. As you can see, it has jasper throughout it, but it also is agate. So you can see the carnelian and potentially even some quartz inside of there. You can see that it does have some translucency in there. It's just a beautiful specimen. We haven't found too many that are agatized jaspers, but this is definitely a very cool specimen for sure. All right,
Next up, we have.
Wait, did we skip? We skipped this one, didn't we?
Oh yeah.
We skipped this one. This is one of the cooler ones too. We found this one at the end of our last batch when we were coming up. We had just passed another rockhounder who was out looking for stuff as well too on our way back. This was the last one that we found. You did, bud. That's right. I love these little ones that have like the pockets of the host rocks that still are attached to them.
And remember the one with way more of those?
Oh, yeah.
There was like 1,000.
That's pretty cool, wasn't
More
it?
like that. Okay, next up, we have this humongous carnelian. Sometimes I just can't really remember. So this one my dad found. And it was pretty cool. Because it was like the third biggest of our rocks. But after we see one more, you're gonna see the best.
Yeah, so you guys can look from the close-up here. This beautiful carnelian is very rich in color. I don't want to blind you guys, but you can see the glowing translucency there. It is a very beautiful specimen piece. This one was glowing like somebody had turned a light on right on the edge of the river there, and Papa was very excited to see this one. You can see maybe even a little bit of quartz on the inside of there, even potentially. And yeah, we can't wait to get this guy tumbled up and all nice and shiny.
Next up, the second biggest is this one. My dad found it, and look how, that's a huge band.
Yep, it goes all the way around.
Well, almost all the way around.
Almost.
Look, it stops right there. And then there's that.
Okay, let's get another side profile of it, bud.
Okay. Now this, I believe, would be the coolest part.
Yeah, that is a very cool part. Can you flip it over to the other side? Yeah, so initially Papa wasn't sure if this was one, and then I got it a little bit wet, and you could easily see that definitely this was a glowy. You can see from the translucency in there that this is a beautiful specimen piece. So you can see right in there, maybe a quartz pocket there that wraps up around to the other side as well too. And this will look beautiful once tumbled. Very beautiful. So, did you want to do these first and then end it with that one, Munchkin?
Sure.
Alrighty. So, now, before we do our last glowy, we are going to do some honorable mentions of our non-glowies. And we're going to go through some of those with you before we wrap it up and show you guys
the biggest of them all.
The biggest of them all, he says.
And
Alright.
that one is going to be a surprising one.
Okay, so you can see here we've got some interesting colors. I really like that blue one, bud. It is a very unique color for sure. Not exactly sure what kind of a rock this is.
You know what? This kind of reminds me of something, doesn't it? Remember the one that just got tumbled?
Oh yeah, it does, huh?
Well, maybe not this.
Not sure what this one is either, but very beautiful patterns. Let's see what the other ones are, bud.
It looks like that you have some pillows.
Yeah, potentially.
I touched the carpet too, but I wiped it off.
Yep, that's okay, bud. Alrighty, so these are our honorable mention non-glowies. Beautiful colors, beautiful specimens.
And after that, we have this cool one that my dad threw, but then wait. Is that some glowy out there?
It has very light translucency. So, I am not exactly sure what kind of a rock this is. It looks like maybe some quartz in certain areas. Maybe some basalt in there. I mean, that's a different rock than that. And then it's surrounded by other things. So it's maybe some form of conglomerate. It's a very beautiful specimen, though. Alrighty.
Next up, we have these, a cool jasper. And this one that my dad said that it looks like it got scratched.
Yeah, so this one has a very cool marking to it. Like it was almost scratched by something. Probably just nature marks, but you can let the imagination run wild with that. Alrighty, now this I believe is a piece of jasper, bud. A beautiful piece of jasper. It's got some browns to it and a little bit of orange as well too. And speaking of jasper, our last bigger piece here as well too. Is this blue? This is a green piece, right?
Yeah.
This is a beautiful green piece. It's pretty decent in size. It's got some lighter cracks in it as well too. And we thought, well, we should just take this one with us as well too. Alrighty. Now, last but not least,
we have the biggest of them all. Voila!
This. Alrighty, so Munchkin over here is incredibly proud of this Chalcedony find. This was just waiting for us on the shore. Do you want to talk about this a little bit, bud?
So, before I even found this big piece, I found some indicators, which are something that can lead you to a bigger globe. I found a small one when I was up on a little trail, like up searching, and I found some indicators, and then I found an indicator that was down, that was wanting me to go down, and then I followed the next indicator, and somehow X marked a stop. X marked a spot actually worked out.
That is true. So,
and after a few indicators later, one last bit of indicator, and this was right there.
That's right. So, a lot of times erosion happens in the area that we specifically rockhound at, and so we were finding a lot of smaller ones that were right in this area leading up to this, and so Noam had used those as indicators, like he was saying, that there might be something bigger around. So that is a beautiful specimen.
And before we end the video,
you can see
there's
the
at least something that I want to
beautiful translucency in this. I mean, this is huge, very big, and this was definitely the find of the day.
But also, is it gonna be big? Of course it is. Look at that.
So this is a previous Jersey quartz with chalcedony that we had found in another video where we cracked open this side here that Noam found, and we can see here
that this one's just little bit big.
It's a little bit bigger, thicker than it. So Munchkin was also pretty proud of that. And that there, you guys, is going to wrap it up for this Rockhounding Roundup recap. We appreciate you guys for watching. We're surprised every single time that we go out, we find a bunch more in the specific area that we're at. Sometimes, I think eventually we're going to come up empty-handedly, but each time we go, there seems to be more erosion, and we get better and better at finding them. So we appreciate you guys watching. We know some of our videos can be a little bit long, but for those of you who lasted to the end, we do appreciate your guys' viewership, support, and please leave a comment. We're pretty good at responding back to you guys. If you know what any of these rocks may be, or maybe you see a correction that needs to be made on something, do feel free to let us know. We really do appreciate the helping hand and the rockhounding community that there is on YouTube.
Find a big one, please show us, because we want to see that.
Yep, and we love seeing all of your guys' stuff as well too. So thank you guys very much. Until next time, remember to rock on.